Right, let's get rolling. Okay, welcome everybody to our August 9th, 2022 meeting. We're going to go over the July of 2022 stats. We're the Murdock Manwaring Company, a real estate group at Keller Williams Realty East Idaho, your neighbors in the know. And we like to go over the stats. And our market is changing enough to where every month the stats are different. And so we want to share with you what is new and be able to kind of move forward on the stats. So let's go ahead and get rolling on stats, and we'll get some communication, and we'll have some talk about this. And we'll start out with some updates from Hunter Taylor from Taylor Mountain Mortgage. Hunter, what can you tell us about the mortgage industry? I saw the Feds raised rates, but it didn't necessarily affect mortgage rates, right?
It's not a one-for-one with, raise from the Fed. There's a lot more that goes into the mortgage rates. But what you're seeing this week, you're actually seeing a decrease in rate. And so about a month and a half ago, we saw our highest point of rates, which was, at the 6.5%, which really put a lot of people just in a bad position as far as, how much they could afford, their purchasing power. And it's interesting you say that about the Feds. They did raise rates, but what you're seeing is the market already have these rates and the future rate hikes from the Feds built into this pricing. And so this is what we anticipate for the kind of, future and the remaining of this year is rates kind of cooling off a little bit, staying a lot more steady. You see a lot of volatility, over the last couple of months. But I think, throughout the rest of the year, we're going to see, I'm hoping, some more stable rates. That being said, though, there's a lot of things that go into it, and it could go up, could continue to come down. But I think, we're at a good spot right now at 4.99. I think people are feeling good. We're locking in rates there, and people are happy with their payments.
Yeah.
So in that, if you go to the next slide there, Chad. So this basically goes over your affordability, right? At that 6%, we were, your purchase price was $341,000. And we got a little bit higher than that too. We got around 6.5%. And so that went down a little bit more, but now we're back to the 5%, 4.99, which, instantly gives you $40,000 more of buying power. And so that does quite a bit, when you're in the market. If you're at, pre-approved for 260, well, now you're at, 300. Or if you're at, 350, 360, now you're at 400. And so, those
I
who
can
were
think of this, Hunter, is
pre-approved,
you get the 3-bay garage instead of the 2-bay garage.
Exactly. Yep. And people who were approved a month ago, I would say go back to your lender, or I would love to talk to you about getting approved with today's rates, because they fluctuate so much right now. Your purchasing power can go up and down in a matter of just a couple of weeks. And so if you had your eye on that 3-bay garage, but you couldn't do it a month ago, you might be able to do it this month. So I would say definitely check in with your lender, because your purchasing power just went back up over the last month. And so hopefully we stabilize here at the 4.99%. That is a pretty decent rate compared to where we've been at. And so it'd be great to stay there. And like I said before, the market has definitely priced in the rate increases. And so hopefully we're going to stay stable.
And so 1% interest rate affects buying power by how much again? I was asked that stat the other day.
I think it was around 10 or 11,000. Is that right?
10 or 11. Yeah, 10 or 11%.
A percent, excuse me.
Yeah. Yep. So, and we see that right here. I mean, basically the difference between 441 and 341 is about 30%, right? And
correct.
So it's really about 15% in that scenario. So, but
so Hunter, what would you say? I heard someone say it and I didn't have clarity and I didn't remember very well. Someone said either you marry your interest rate or you marry your purchase price. Which would you say right now is correct?
Yeah, no, I would say definitely marry the home and date the rate. and I don't know if you guys have heard that before, but marry the home that you guys want to, because this is the home you're going to be in for a while. The rates are variable. So date that. You know, if rates go down in the next 5 years, 3 to 5 years, 1 to 2 years, you can always, you know, date around and get that lower, and then your housing payment goes lower too. So
That makes sense. I couldn't figure out. They said it, and I didn't have the full thing. You marry the house because that's you want to hit the house to be in, but you can still shop around, date the rate.
bingo.
That okay. Thank you for bringing that around for me.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Like the slide there too. Looks good, Hunter.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on and let's chat about Hunter, what's so you said 4.99 is your conventional rate, but what are government rates right now?
Yeah, government are similar, sometimes lower actually. I think we just locked somebody in at an FHA loan for 4.75.
4.75.
So a little bit lower. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Got
So
it.
right around the same, maybe just a hair lower.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Sounds good. Thank you for the clarification there. And let's go on and kind of look at our stats. Probably the biggest stat that we have been expecting, and it takes a little while. Everything takes a little while, but I mean, the feds have raised rates for one reason, and that is to curb inflation. And they haven't seen the numbers of inflation decrease, and we hadn't really either on these numbers, even though we had been living with the changes over the last few months since they made the changes. We now are seeing obviously signs of higher interest rates. And that is that in July of 2021, in Bonneville, Bingham, and Jefferson counties, we had 271 homes sell. And in July of 2022, we had a pretty slow month at 183 homes. And so basically we saw a 33% decrease in sales year over year. You know, double digits are big numbers. Double digits times 3 are even bigger numbers. So yeah, that's a big decrease.
Which and funny because July is usually our heavy month, right? This is
exactly.
We are in peak real estate, and to have a 33% decrease in our peak months is an interesting conundrum.
Yeah, one of the slowest Julys, you know, we've had in a long time. So.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll continue to find out why, but anybody want to venture a guess? Why, before we go through all this, why do you think that is?
Why it's slow?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no question. I mean, they raise rates and they're trying to slow it down. They're basically trying to say, hey, we're going to raise rates until people stop spending. And that, you know, refers to the housing market, that refers to everything else. When people's buying habits change, then we're going to start seeing inflation go down. You know, we're seeing it everywhere. And when they're trying to get people to quit buying things, trying to make it to where they don't.
And so with Hunter's thing, marry the house, date the rate, it's still a good time to buy or sell because the rates are going to change. And once you have that house and you're in there, then you can start, I don't want to say playing the market, but you can say, hey, guess what? Rates went down. I'm going to take that rate on a date. You know, yep. I'm gonna jump in there, even though my rate was at 6 and they're raising it high, still get in the house, and then, you know, you can change those rates.
Yep. No, totally true. The stat that I'd be interested in that I don't think we'd be able to get is how many new construction starts are down over the last 4 months. I mean, if we're down on existing home sales 33%, I would think the home sales, existing home starts, have got to be down considerably higher than that. My opinion. Anybody else have an opinion on that?
It feels like we've got a lot of inventory from builders out there. It feels like we've got builders with lots of stuff to sell.
I know we had that huge dump in the market where all of a sudden we said, holy crap, why are there so many houses? All of a sudden just these houses came on, and then to not have them sell.
Yeah, and we're seeing more come on. We'll talk about that. Excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and move on and kind of look at the breakdown of current closed, where these 183 homes came from. As always, we find that the most amount of homes are selling between the $200,000 and $500,000 range. We did have 5 that actually closed under $200,000, and so that market is making a teeny comeback. I don't anticipate it to be a huge comeback, but it's actually, exists again. And between 500 and 900,000, we had 44 homes sell, and really most of those were 700 and under. So again, we can say from 250 to 700 is kind of where the main market is, but we're definitely seeing 300 to 500 being where most of those homes are selling. Whereas before it was a little more evenly spread out with lower interest rates.
And Chad, what's interesting about that is also, we'll probably see that here, is that's also our average home sale or average home size in the Southeast Idaho area is a 2,500 square foot house with a 2-car garage on a quarter of an acre. That's the price point.
Yep. We did sell 4 homes over $1 million. And so, and look at the days on market. Look at how it goes up with every single price. I mean, from 0 to 200, it's 11, 2 to 5, it's 24, 5 to 9, it's 36. And of course, the higher you go, the more. So let's go ahead and move on to the next slide and take a look at the price per square foot. This one's interesting. So basically we're February 2022 at 174. March, we are at 180, 190, 189, 196, 175. We are now seeing, not only are we seeing a decrease in sales, we also saw a lower price point of homes being sold. And that is seen also on the average price per square foot of the home sold. And again, it's at 300 to 500, like Jess was saying. So as far as
what
homes,
this makes me think of, looking at that, Chad,
what's
is
that?
How they went up and down, and people have been saying, I've had buyers saying, I'm just going to wait, it's going to crash, I'm just going to wait, it's going to crash, I'm just going to wait. So now are buyers, how are you guys agents feeling? Are they saying, I knew it was going to crash and it's going to keep crashing? Are people still sitting there thinking it's going to go even lower? Any of the agents having that feedback from buyers?
I mean, I think people are always going to say that. Even in 2012, when it was crashed and hit the bottom, people were still waiting for it to go lower, and it didn't. So you're always going to have those people that are saying it's going to crash, and I don't think we're going to hit a big crash. I mean, you see people say that, but I think we're going to obviously have a little bit of a shift, recession, but I don't think it's going to be a big one. I mean, we don't have inventory. I mean, we need more homes. We don't have new housing inventory. I mean, we have to get caught up on that first. So, okay, let's look at a year-to-date market overview. So in 2021, we had 1,573 homes sell, and so far we are at 1,468 homes. And this is just typical. When we see a slowdown in the market, when we see a shift, units are always going to go down. So we're seeing everything is now falling into place. The numbers are all falling into place. And I don't think it's any just anomalies. We know now that this is just how it is. And we're going to probably see it continue to decrease throughout the rest of the year. It's just the way it works. So as far as average price point, this is one that everybody's always asking about. What's the average price? Well, last year in 2021, it was 390,000. We're still 441,000. So we are still seeing quite a bit of an increase year over year. Jess, do you know off the top of your head what the June average price was?
We were down just a little bit.
Little
bit in June. I think we were at 460 in June, and we went down to 444 in July.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to be seeing year over. I mean, we had such a huge. We gained 33% in 2021 overall. So these numbers show that we're still higher, but we are starting to see prices go down and average sales price. That might be an interesting stat next time to kind of look at average sales price by month for 2022.
And also I think, Chad, is we are also seeing, because these are the average price, right? So we're seeing more sales in that lower end. For a while, we saw nothing under 200,000. Now we've got a couple under 200,000, and we're seeing less in the over $1 million, $2 million. So when you start to look at that average, when they say sale prices are going down, are they going down, or the average is going down because we're getting to the middle of the road?
Yeah.
So that's an indication of we're seeing a little more because these are averages.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what we go off of. An average sales price is going down,
Yep.
so I think it is a measure of the market. So, all right, let's look at a year-to-date market overview. Again, average price in 2021 through July was 363,000, and we are now at 437,000, and that's even lower than what our other one was just for the month. So we're still increasing, over where we were. So anyway, that's a byproduct of just last year's incredible market, I think, and us just kind of still trying to figure out how to rebound with that. So this is interesting. So original list to sold price, when the home went on the market and what it actually sold for. In 2021, most homes sold for about 102.2%. Now people are listing it and having to do price drops, and they're actually selling for about 95% of what they originally went on the market for. So we're seeing that be about a 6.8% decrease is where we are on original list price to sell. When they actually are on the market and what the actual list price is to sold, we're also seeing a decrease. If we want to move to the next slide, Jess, we are 102.6% is where we were last year. We're at 99.5% now. So, I mean, when they finally get it priced correctly, it's moving at about 99.5% list price. But people are pricing them a little bit too high right now, and they're having to make adjustments to get in there. So again, it's very important to make sure you have an agent who knows how to price a house, who can guide you through that process and make sure, you're competitive. So this one, this is one we don't love to see, but it is a reflection of our market. How many price reductions have we seen in 2022? So far we've seen 908 price reductions. And, in May we had 162, and in June we had 308, and in July we had 356. So overall we're at 908. In all of 2021, we had 353. So we had more price drops in July than we had in all of 2021. But I mean, that's not a huge surprise. I mean,
No.
We just know that, people are still trying to kind of price it as if it was last year. Well, guess what? It's not last year. But ironically, they're still getting more than they would last year by quite a bit. So average days on market, last year we're at 14. We now are definitely seeing a huge increase. We've gone up to 26 days on the market, 85.7% increase.
I had to do that math a couple times. I'm like 85, but these are small numbers, so it makes a big impact when you change.
Yep. And we're still seeing some homes that go faster that are priced right. It's just so many homes are not priced right, and they're having to reduce, and therefore they're having to sit on the market longer, which is causing average days on market to go considerably higher.
This is that time where people, before our COVID area, well, people are like, well, let's price high and we're going to have to work our way down. They just, if people will listen to the agent's advice and say, you don't want to ever have to reduce your price. So starting high doesn't mean you'll sell high. And that's what a lot of sellers are worried. I'll start high so that in case someone would pay, they would. But if you start at the right price, the market will drive at the right price. But starting high never helps you sell higher.
Yeah.
But it's hard to take that risk in a seller's mind sometimes.
That's right. All right. So as far as the year-to-date market overview, it's not as much of a difference when we look at year-to-date. We're seeing basically we're seeing the days on the market go from 21 to 23. So I think it's actually an increase on days on market by a percentage. So
sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't know who's in charge of this.
Yeah. All right. So annual average days on market, to kind of put this in perspective, we're at 54 days on the market, which, nobody's complained about that market. I mean, that was fine. In 2018, 46 days, 2019, 40, 2020, 34. And now, basically sitting at, 23, 26. I mean, we still haven't turned it, but I mean, we're starting to turn it. So let's look at a snapshot. 351 homes came on the market, which is 23% down 23% over last month. So we
We
saw
were
a little
going
bit.
so high each month. The last 3 months, we've seen those huge jumps. We first had our turn, which is interesting, Chad, because our sales were down and the number of homes coming on the market was down.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
Average list price at 490. We had 252 homes that went pending. 20% of those, or 50 of those, fell apart after it was pending. So that's a higher than normal amount of homes that are basically backing out after they get put together.
But we're down 10% over last month. Last month we hit that 30%, which was nuts. So
Yeah.
at least that's a little good sign that trying to keep deals together. And I think those interest rate shocks and those kind of things we're getting a little settled in.
Exactly. Okay, this next slide is a big one that we really want to, look at, and that is currently on the market 688 homes. Last month there were 644, so that's up 6.8%. Of the actives, average days on market is 53. So again, most of these homes are priced too high. They're not being competitive. So you're either the home that sells, or you are the home that is helping the other one sell. And there's a lot of homes that are making the other one sell. So thank you to the homes that are priced too high to make the other homes sell quicker. Original list to current is 96.2%, and the average square foot on those is just at a little over 189 bucks a foot. And we are now at 3.76 months of inventory, which is our absorption rate, which to those of us in the industry tells us that we are still in a seller's market overall. In the higher price stuff, it is a buyer's market, but we are moving closer to the 5 to 6 month mark, which is what's considered a balanced market. I am glad to see that our new inventory kind of slowed a little bit, because we don't want to go too crazy on the other side. We just want to balance things out, which is what our market is currently doing.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at our current actives and kind of the breakdown of where those are. We have a lot of homes on the market. So basically
I'm glad you're saying that, Chad. When last year, before this would have been, oh no, not a lot of homes on the market, but this now, oh, look at them all.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. I mean, we basically have, like basically almost double or triple of what we had a year ago, just in certain price ranges, so anyway, under 200,000, there's 4 of those, and the average and the days on market 79. So I mean, they've been on a long time. Between 200 and 500,000, we basically are just under 400 homes and 45 days on market. Between 500 and a million, we're at 69 days on market. And upwards of a million, we're at 51. So basically, again, a lot of these homes went on the market when rates went up, and they are, just they missed the boat, and so they have
$500,000 to $1 million. They're trying hard to get their top dollar, and they're sitting there.
Yeah, Anyway, I mean, it's a pricing.
So
thing.
Chad, what I think this slide really should help a seller as they look at is do not start to freak out if your house is not selling in a week. Your average days on market and your price point. Look at what those averages are. Don't freak out. This is get back to the comfortable of it might be a month to 2 months to sell my house. But if you price right, you should be in a month or so, but don't freak out.
Yeah. And we can't compare last year's market with this market.
No.
So that's a great point, Jess, this is a new market. So those, last year's is over. The year before that is over. We can't compare those. So.
Yeah.
And I think that says to sellers, you need to be talking to your realtor much farther ahead of time. Don't wait until you're either under contract on a new house or your job starts next month, or in Tennessee. You're probably going to have to sit on the market a little bit. So now is the best time to talk to your realtor, make a strategy, get things ready. You may have to do some repairs in this market. You may have to, rip out that carpet that you've been not wanting to do. There may be some things that you need to do that you should talk to realtors before it's, a week before your hair's on fire and you're worried that what are you going to do with your house? Because we want to keep your emotions in balance. When you make an emotional sale, then it's not good. And so we want to keep those emotions in balance and keep it so that you can make the best decisions, not just run on emotions.
And use some of that equity that the market gifted you over the last year and the year before, and just get the deal done, get it sold.
Mhm.
You know,
Yep.
do what you need to do to get it sold. You know, throw in some concessions. You're still doing way better than you ever thought you would ever have done when you bought the house, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And sometimes in this market, you got to be a little more aggressive. You can't just say, I'm not doing anything anymore. You gotta pitch in a little bit. You got to make it work. So,
And you can't go, I wish, but it was, I missed and I wish, and I should have. It's done. Move on. We got to do the market we've got. Yep.
The new market. So, all right. So Bonneville, Bingham, Jefferson counties, we have currently 334 pendings. Average price of those is 448. Original price to current 96.5. Average price per square foot 177. Average days on market 27. Those numbers are all going down except for the days on market. So we're seeing price, square foot, original price to current. So we're seeing that kind of drop down.
Well, I think that this is a slide for everyone. These are pendings. And whenever I talk to a seller, I say, these are the people that attracted someone to make an offer. You've got to be careful. If you are comparing yourself to actives, they don't have offers. These guys got an offer. So if you're sitting at the average price per square foot of 189 on actives, but the pendings are 177. That's what got an offer. Actives are sitting, remember that.
Yep. And to put this in perspective of last month, I think the main things that we want to compare with is we have less pendings now than we did in May. Average sales price is lower now than it was in May, and price per square foot is lower now than it was in May. So we're seeing things get a little bit, we're seeing a softening.
Yeah.
I don't think anything to make anybody panic. Again, you have a lot of equity that is still there, but we're seeing things soften. So as we take a look into Idaho Falls, and we determine that by the 5 high school boundaries, Hillcrest, Bonneville, Thunder Ridge, Skyline, and Idaho Falls High School. So homes sold in July were 122. We actually saw more homes sell in Idaho Falls than we did before. Homes on the market, 404. We saw 10% more homes go there as well. And average days on market, 48. And absorption rate there is 3.3 months. So again, we're moving more towards a balanced market, which is considered a healthy market. I think the market of 20 and 21 was not a healthy, sustainable market. We're moving more towards a healthy market. And as far as the breakdown in Idaho Falls goes, this one is, we're going to see some of the similar things. Under 200,000, there's only three of the 4 that we had in all the areas are in Idaho Falls, and we're seeing, basically most everything under 500,000. We're seeing between 5 and 700,000 or some more, and days on market we continue to see kind of climb up there, except for over 1 million. There's some newer ones that have kind of popped up there. So, and how often do we see homes that are over 3 million? We got some homes over 3 million right now. So anyway,
it's hard to get over 3 million in Idaho Falls because you got to have some land, but there's a couple in there you're going to see.
Yeah, and you got to have some comparables too.
Yeah.
So, okay, so in Idaho Falls we have 222 pendings. Average price is 449,000. Average price per square foot is 168, and average days on market 33. So anyway, those are our stats, and we hope that you found these enjoyable. We're going to be also sharing some snippets of our stats out there, and just see if it makes it a little bit easier for people to understand the stats when they see little pieces here and there. So anyway, because there are some main points here that we definitely try to cover. So anyway, with that, anything else we need to cover?
That's it. That's the stats.
All right.
Give us a call if you want to look at selling or buying a home.
Yeah, give us a call. We always say with good information, you can make good decisions. And we like to share with you the information about the market, which then makes it a lot easier to be able to understand and to be able to figure out the market. So anyway, give us a call if you need anything. And thanks for watching with us.